So you have a sign here that says "Stop the Steal." So, so I'm assuming that you think that stealing is in the process of happening right now.
Are you aware that 6,000 votes in one county in Michigan were flipped from Trump to Biden by a voting machine? And that there are 47 counties in the state of Michigan using that same voting software, and that there are 30 states in the United States of America, including Texas, also using that voting software. They're calling it a glitch. I know something about computer science. You don't have a glitch like that. It's a backdoor, or it's a deliberate way they've programmed
Right.
things.
So the
to
question-
favor Biden.
So the question I have-
stealing votes from Trump voters.
Right. So-
that's the definition of fraud.
So you said so you claim there's 6,000?
It's not claimed, it's fact.
Okay.
Look it up.
Okay, so
6,000 votes.
yeah, but you're making you're making a
from
claim though.
Trump to Biden.
But how many?
Fact.
But if that's 6,000,
There are also dead people voting in Michigan.
yeah, if there's
There are
six,
also people voting multiple times in Michigan.
And so what-
Also in Nevada. There are 50,000 people who voted twice in New York City.
right? So
There
what-
are also 128,000 votes that came in overnight, all in the same group, that all 100% went to Biden in Michigan. That is fraud.
So-
that is statistically impossible.
So what is the percent? So what's the percentage of all that compared to the millions of people who voted?
The total vote right now is about 100,000 difference in Michigan. If you look at the 100% fraudulent votes and the 128,000, that flips it back already. If you look at 6,000 votes in one county and you multiply that by 47, you end up with 20,000 plus votes that go back to Trump. Then you start counting all the fraudulent votes. Fake votes are not counting all votes.
So if it comes back and there's been determined no significant fraud, then can
There's
you?
fraud.
Yeah, but if it comes
If
back,
you have a Trump supporter observing every single ballot in every single one of these disputed states and counties, and they are able to observe and not be kicked out, and they go through and they check to make sure that it's legal, then, and you also look at the fact that they were throwing people out in places like Pennsylvania illegally from observing, and you throw those people's votes out to a separate container, and you look at those and consider doing a second election for situations like that, because you cannot go back in time and observe if they were cheating with those votes.
well, you definitely can't go back in time. But like, given the issue of voter fraud, which you're obviously very concerned about.
Yes, very concerned, because
so-
it's very real.
So don't
How
you?
do you explain gains
so
in
do
the
you think-
House?
so do you-
How do you explain gains in the House of Republicans gaining massively in the House, keeping the Senate, and Trump not gaining too? People don't vote down ballot differently than they vote for the president. They were voting straight Republican, which means they were cheating in these elections.
Well, some people-
The ballots
well, some
were being
people-
flipped
well, some people-
by voting machines.
Well, some people are in favor of their Republican representatives, but maybe they just don't like Trump anymore.
They voted on the coattails of Trump's incredible success. That's the fact.
So-
look at his rallies. Look at Biden's rallies.
So do you think?
Are you
so,
crazy?
so do you think? So do you think
There's
last?
no doubt it was stolen.
So do you think
and it
4
will
years?
be reversed.
So do you think 4 years ago, when Trump won, that there was any fraud that favored Trump at that time?
No.
So what? So what's
no,
the difference?
There was fraud that favored Hillary Clinton at that time.
Oh, I see. So there's only
It's just
fraud
that
when
they
there's
were
a Democrat.
overwhelmed by the vote
So
that
you
was
feel.
pro-Trump.
So you feel there's only fraud when it comes
They
to
did.
Democrats.
They underestimated how much fraud they needed to commit to win in 2016.
So your feeling is
Therefore,
that there's
Trump
only.
managed to win.
So your feeling is that there's only fraud when the Democrats are involved.
No, there's fraud on both sides. However, people have been told for 4 years that Trump is evil and Hitler.
Well, I don't know if they
feel
told
justified
that.
in cheating.
Some
They
people
feel
have said that.
justified in cheating.
I think for
They've
the
been
most
lied
part
to.
with Trump. So when people complain about Trump being a racist, you don't agree with that, obviously, right?
Do you know
Or when Trump.
about
Well, why
the
don't you
Fine
answer?
People hoax?
Well, why don't you answer my
Do you
questions?
know about the Fine People hoax?
Can you answer my question?
Are you aware that they've lied to you for 4 years on CNN by taking
I don't
him out of
watch
context?
CNN. I don't know about
He
CNN.
He never said that Nazis are fine people. It's a lie. You've been lied to.
Okay. What happened during the debate?
He was pro-black.
How
He
about-
was rapped about by various R&B artists. He stated in the 1990s that the head of the white supremacist movement
So you have.
ever was David
So you have
Duke.
your points you're making there. Can I see it?
This is something I wrote up.
It's a what?
This is something I wrote up about the voter fraud.
Oh, can I take a
specifically.
photo of it? I'll just. It's better for
No,
me to. It's better
no.
for me to just take a video of it than you to
No,
read it.
no.
Oh, you don't want? Well, you're handing it out, right?
I'm not handing it out to someone who will take it out of context.
I'm not going to take it out of
In fact,
context.
I think that I'd like to
I've
know
listened.
about you.
I've listened totally
Are you a
about.
Democrat?
What?
Are you a Democrat?
No, I'm independent.
Okay, did you vote for Biden? you voted
Yes,
for
I
Biden.
did vote for Biden. But
Yes,
you know
yes.
why? But you know
Why
why?
did you vote for Biden? Yes, why?
I voted for Biden because it seems that Trump has been highly divisive, and I'm kind of tired of it.
Do you think that the media, by calling him a white supremacist, is helping to sow division and fear? When you try to convince half the population that someone is Hitler, do you think that might be divisive?
Well, I think there are other issues related to Trump that are as divisive as the issue of him being called a racist.
Are you aware that the Mueller report, they had access to his IRS records?
They had to what?
They had access to his IRS records. They had access to all of his business dealings. They had access to every aspect of his life.
So you deny the
And
taxes
they
that
found
came out?
nothing.
You deny the information that came out about his taxes of him not paying taxes for 15
He's paid
years?
taxes.
Not for 15
He's
years.
paid ahead.
And he paid
He's paid ahead
and he paid
in literally millions
and
of
he's
dollars in taxes.
he's $421 million
It's not my
in.
fault that you don't understand about leveraging. It's not my fault that you don't understand how big businesses pay years ahead of
So
time.
you don't think he's
so that they
$420 million
don't-
in debt?
Do you understand taking a mortgage out on a house? Can you describe what that is?
$421 million.
Do you understand what you take a mortgage out on a house? How much is that mortgage?
I understand.
Let's say it's a $400,000 house. How much debt are you in?
But we're talking about $421 million.
If you have
And we're talking about
many
15 years of paying no
around
taxes.
The entire planet. You have hotels.
This is
on
not
the-
his organization. This is his
Dude,
own personal
dude,
taxes.
no,
It's two
it is
separate
not.
things.
No, it's not.
He has a Trump
No,
organization,
you've been misinformed.
and he has his own.
You've been
taxes.
misinformed.
Anyway,
You've been misinformed.
so-
You need to look up about leveraging. It is precisely the same. It's precisely the same thing as taking out a mortgage on your house.
8 years
except
ago.
he has 1,000 houses.
8 years ago.
That adds up.
8 years ago.
Okay? So it's very, very common for very big businesses pay for large sums of money that are rather incomprehensible to your average 50K a year working class dude to comprehend, but it doesn't mean that it's not completely legal and that it's not completely successful. Look at Trump Tower.
In the last election before.
Look at how he works.
In the last
Look at all
election
of the
before
roses he's
2016,
got.
who'd you vote for?
5 rallies in a day. Over weeks of time after he got the coronavirus that's supposedly so deadly.
In 20
I'm
in 20
amazed
in
that
20
you think this guy isn't a hard worker and isn't a success.
In 20
you have to be lying to yourself to imagine that.
in 2012, who'd you vote for?
2012?
Oh, well, yeah, the last election before 2016.
2016? I forgot who was on the ballot.
You don't remember?
I forgot it was on the ballot.
Before Trump, like before Trump and Hillary. The election before that.
Who was on the ballot?
You don't remember?
I don't remember. That's 8 years ago, dude. That's 8 years ago. I'm young.
You remember what stuff you did 10 years ago, right? Like, where'd you go to school?
Things that are important to me. I've tuned in now. I'm tuned into politics now.
Oh, maybe you weren't back then.
I wasn't a
So you're
student.
kind of new to politics.
Say what?
So you're kind of new to politics. You're kind of new to politics.
I'm somewhat new. I mean, I've been involved for years now, but yeah.
Yeah, but Trump really excites you. He motivates you to get out and get involved, right?
I'm motivated by love of country.
Right. But you weren't
I'm
doing that.
motivated by the fact that
But you weren't doing that in previous elections,
I've been
right?
told for years that I ought to hate myself. I've been told for years that this is a horrible racist country. I've been told for years that that I'm a racist. I've been told for years.
Where do you live here in Austin? You live here in Austin?
Do you think I'm a racist?
But I don't know you well enough. You live here in Austin?
Oh!
You live here in Austin?
Do you?
Oh yeah, I live a few blocks from here actually. But I mean, why can't you just tell me if you're?
What is Trump? What is Biden doing?
Where
That caused you to vote
where,
for him.
like, did you come
Why
here?
do you support
Did you
Biden?
come here from out of town?
Dude, why do you? I'm from Austin. Yeah.
Are you from
I was
Austin?
born and lived in Austin. I'm in Austin my whole life.
Uh huh.
why are
8
you
years
voting
ago.
for Biden?
So
I
eight.
can tell you tons of reasons why I voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Why did you vote for
8 years though, you weren't politically involved, or maybe even 4 years ago, right? Like Trump has motivated you to come out and hold a sign, and you were concerned about this election and cheating and that kind of thing. Did you do that 4 years ago?
You're kind of getting boring, dude. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just asking you questions.
You're getting boring.
You're
Ask me
asking-
something useful. Ask me something interesting.
Well,
Why
I
is
am.
my personal life from 8 years ago so interesting to you?
Well, because
it's very invasive.
well, you're the one that's talked about you weren't that.
I just said,
engaged.
why are you voting for Biden? That's relevant.
Well, I've told you why I voted
no,
for
you
Biden.
didn't. You
I
just
did.
said Trump is divisive. That's not for.
No, I didn't say Trump.
That's against someone.
Actually, what I said was that I wanted to vote for somebody who was less divisive. That's what I said. And I said that I voted for Biden because he's less divisive. That's what I said. I didn't say Trump was divisive or that I didn't vote for Trump because of that.
You need to watch your recording later. But in any case.
Well, anyway, I won't bore you anymore. I just saw the sign and thought it was interesting and knew that there was a
Yeah.
passion for you.
Stop the steal.
Okay, thanks. There.